Welcome back to our daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Again, we are predicting every single game this NBA season, and we are continuing today with this November 11th slate. 5 games on the docket today for the association, headlined, I guess, by the Oklahoma City Thunder that is now dealing without Chet Holmgren taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. We will get to that game later on in the video, but again, 5 games in the slate today for the NBA. And folks, if you haven't yet though, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Earlier today, about an hour ago, we posted our 5 best bets for the college basketball slate. Today, we have gone 9-1 in our last 10 best bets on the college basketball slate, so go make sure to check that video out. Again, link is in the description down below as we get into the 5 games here for the NBA today. We start things off, actually real quick, our UFC 309 predictions are also linked in the description down below. John Jones, Stipe Miocic in the main event from Madison Square Garden. We have those predictions on the channel as well, posted yesterday. Okay, on to our first game. We've got the Chicago Bulls taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs, the only undefeated team in basketball still. They're the best team in basketball right now. They just are, right? This is a squad that is 11-0, and they've looked pretty good in doing it every single night. Again, they didn't cover their last game against the Brooklyn Nets. It is what it is. The Nets are a tough team, and they're a weird team because Brooklyn just stays in games, and we will get to Brooklyn later in the video. They have a game where they go on the road against, our team, the New Orleans Pelicans. We'll get to that in a minute, though. We've got the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Chicago Bulls here. Cleveland should win this game. I have no doubt in my mind that they won't win this game. Again, the 11-game win streak has gone the entire season, obviously. Raptors, Pistons, Wizards, Knicks, Lakers, Magic, Bucks, Pelicans, Warriors, and now the Brooklyn Nets. And here come the Chicago Bulls. A Bulls team that, is very inconsistent. Everyone should be playing tonight. I think Zach LaVine's playing. No Lonzo Ball, obviously. But this is a Bulls team that, prior to their Hawks game on Saturday that they won in Atlanta, they lost 4 in a row to the Nets, Jazz, Mavs, and Timberwolves. And obviously then they just beat the Atlanta Hawks. They got 19 out of Dosunmu in that game. But with LaVine being hurt, it was a lot of Nikola Vucevic taking over. And I want to give, again, a shout out to Josh Giddey, who's been performing really well this season as the ball facilitator as the offensive facilitator on this Chicago team. But it's been a lot of Vucevic, a lot of Zach LaVine, Kobe White, of course, will get involved in the scoring as well. And again, I've been somewhat high on the Bulls this season. I've been off them, obviously, because of that 4-game losing streak. And if they weren't playing the Cavs here, I wouldn't mind the spot for Chicago. Again, coming off a victory on the road, you return home for 1 game, then go back on the road for 2 more. Again, if it wasn't the Cavaliers, I wouldn't really mind the spot for the Bulls here. But the problem is, again, you're playing Cleveland, who, again, is without one superstar. I think you can make the case Donovan Mitchell is that, but they've been playing so well because they're just an all-around excellent team. They have so many guys who can score. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley can score, Jared Allen can score down low, Karis LeVert. Hell, even Ty Jerome off the bench right now is averaging 10 points a game. Everybody on this team contributes, and they're just a really good squad. Again, I understand the comparisons people are making to the 2015 Hawks. Again, that team that had 4 All-Stars, right, with Korver, Jeff Teague, Al Horford, and who was the 4th All-Star on that team? I'm gonna have to look it up. Who was it 26 Hawks? Or no, it's definitely the 2015 Hawks, because that was the year LeBron came back to the Cavs. Who is the 4th All-Star that I'm missing? Paul Millsap. How can I forget? I get people making the comparisons of this Cavs team to the Hawks team, right? Like, okay, you're getting your 4 All-Stars in the Cavs just because they're good. So, hell, Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, and Allen are all going to be All-Stars just because the team's, going to be, the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. I don't know if they're going to be all that. But obviously, again, they're 11-0 to start the season, and I don't think it's going to end with this game against the Bulls. They're the better team. Chicago's playing better basketball. The only question is if they can cover the spread or not. We are picking the Cavs to cover this spread, though. I think they can do it. It's, 8.5 points, and I think they will cover this against the Bulls. Now, the NBA Cup, by the way, is coming up. That starts tomorrow. These games are not part of the NBA Cup. We will get to that again tomorrow. The NBA Emirates NBA Cup. Those games, of course, matter for the in-season tournament. What does the in-season tournament really mean? Just money for the players, so great. Anyways, give me the Cavs to win this game against the Chicago Bulls, and they will cover the line as well. As we go into our second game, we go to Houston, Texas. We've got the Houston Rockets hosting the Washington Wizards. There's no doubt in my mind the Houston Rockets win this game. This is going to be, pretty one-sided. It's just a matter of if the Wizards can kind of hang around. I'm going to say they will. The Wizards are due for a game where they kind of just hang around. Guys, they've been blown out in 4 straight games. They got it. They got to stay competitive in one of them, right? Have to. They haven't been competitive in a basketball game since the last game they won. It was October 30th when they beat the Hawks in the back-to-back wins that they've had this season. And again, Those are the only 2 wins the Washington Wizards have this entire year, are the back-to-back wins over the Atlanta Hawks. They have to be competitive in a game sometime, right? And, like, honestly, you look at this Wizards team, who scores other than Jordan Poole and Bilal Coulibaly? They're not great, but I'm still not sold on the Rockets. I'm just not. They're 6-4. But, guys, they beat the Knicks, which is a good win. But other than that, they beat the Spurs, Pistons, Grizzlies without Jaren Jackson. The Rockets are going to fall off, and they're going to fall off soon. They're going to win this game, don't get me wrong. But this team, I just don't think this is a sustainable team down the stretch. This is not a winning formula. I don't think it is. I don't think this team's built to win. Jalen Green, Sengun, great. But other than that, okay, Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, Tari Eason. Jabari Smith has his nights, but, like, I don't know. Reed Shepherd's averaging 3 points off the bench in his rookie season. I think I am just hating on the Rockets. I'm not going to lie. I've been hating on this team all season long. And that's nothing against Houston. I literally have nothing against the Rockets, truly. But I just don't. I'm not high on this team. Nothing wows me on this team. They win games, sure. They get good nights out of Jalen Green. Sengun again will dominate down low, but I feel like eventually it's going to catch up to them. I think again they've just been overperforming to start this year, and I'm not even going to say the Wizards are underperforming. They're definitely not. I mean, Kyle Kuzma's still injured, so I doubt he will play. But yeah, I'm not saying the Wizards are underperforming because they're the Washington Wizards and they still suck. This is just a matter of if they can, not suck that much today. That's kind of a harsh way to put it, but I'm serious. That's how we look at this game. Can they just not suck that much? 13.5 points, that's a lot. Can they just not suck like the Portland Trail Blazers sucked last night against the Memphis Grizzlies? I mean, an all-time horrible performance last night for the Portland Trail Blazers. It was ridiculous. I was at the game. At one point in time, they were 1 for 24 shooting last night. It was horrible. I'm just sitting there, I got money on this team. It was bad. Anyways, shout out to the Detroit Lions for coming back and saving the night for me. Regardless, give me the Washington Wizards to cover the 13.5 points. I think they're able to not suck that much. I think the Rockets obviously win the game, but maybe Jordan Poole can throw up some shots. Bilal Coulibaly can keep the game close. Alex Sarr maybe finally has his breakout performance. Yeah, give me the Wizards. Give me the Wizards. Okay, we move on to our next one here, and we'll take a visit to, the only team in the NBA right now that is banned from me picking them. It's the New Orleans Pelicans. And I get it. They have their string of injuries. I completely understand that. Again, will they be better as the season goes on? Sure. But no Zion Williamson now permanently for at least, the next couple weeks makes it really hard to pick them. And again, it's kind of a joke that they're banned. Like, again, Jacksonville State basketball is banned. The University of San Diego basketball is banned. Louisiana Tech football is banned. So it's kind of a joke that the New Orleans Pelicans, a professional sports team, is on that list too. But guys, we're going to uphold the ban until Zion comes back. What is this team? Jose Alvarado, Trey Murphy, Brandon Ingram, Javonte Green, Yves Messi. Like, it's not a winning basketball team. They're 3-7. And ever since we put them on the ban list, they're 1-4. I'm just saying. Now, again, of course, the first game we banned them was the Pacers game, and they won, but lost to the Hawks, lost to Portland, which I don't know how anybody loses to Portland watching them last night. Cleveland, Orlando, okay, just got blown out 115-88 against the Orlando Magic, who are missing their superstar in Paolo Banchero, which, very shifts their team, obviously. I mean, hell, if you want to look at one positive, New Orleans got 26 points out of Brandon Boston Jr., okay? The third-year man out of Kentucky had a big night, probably his best night of his career. I'm serious. That's great. First year Pelicans player obviously was with Los Angeles with the Clippers for the last 3 seasons. Now he's here at New Orleans. He will probably get an extended role at points because of the Zion injury, not because, again, Brandon Boston's going to play the same position, but still, he'll probably be, again, coming off the bench in that second unit for Brandon Ingram. Maybe he's the primary scorer of that second unit, but, this Pelicans team is just not good. Again, injuries, sure. Yes, 100%. They have not found their way yet with the injuries, obviously, right? They haven't gelled together yet because of the injuries, and they're not going to start because obviously Zion's out. But the Nets, man, this is just one of these teams that just stick around games. Hell, again, they didn't win those 2 games against the Cavs and Celtics, but what did they do in both those? They covered, and they kept them both close. Both on the road, lose to Boston by 4 points, lose to the Cavs by 5. Hell, the Golden State Warriors just did that, and sure, they beat the Celtics, but then they, in the second half of their, little doubleheader against these great East teams, they got blown out by the Cavs. And the Nets played the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers on back-to-back nights on Friday and Saturday night, and they stayed in both those games. The Nets are confusing because they are competitive. They stay in basketball games. Cam Thomas, Dennis Schroeder, Cameron Johnson, Claxton on the glass. This team stays in games. They have too much firepower not to beat the Pelicans here. Their shooting is lights out, and they're going to be too much for the Pelicans tonight. This is going to look like that Pelicans game against the Hawks. Okay? Even line going into it. The Hawks just kind of get away from the Pelicans in that game. I think it's going to be kind of like this one. Again, line's somewhat close right now. Nets getting 1.5 on the road. I think the Nets just kind of get away from the Pelicans in this one. No Zion. Yeah, and the Pelicans are already bad as it is with Zion. They're not flowing right now. I like the Nets to win this game. And again, the Nets are hot. I understand the record's 4-6, but the Nets are hot right now. They're winning basketball games, at least they're covering spreads. Good teams win, great teams cover. And they shoot the ball at a phenomenal clip. Give me the Brooklyn Nets to win this game over the New Orleans Pelicans, and they will do it, and they will cover, obviously, the 1.5 points as well. We go on to our next one, maybe the best game of the day, the Oklahoma City Thunder at home against the Los Angeles Clippers. The Thunder on the second night of a back-to-back, obviously, after losing Chet Holmgren to injury. He is out indefinitely, I'd say, at least for the next 2 months, which is really, really unfortunate for the OKC Thunder, a team that I have been touting as the best team in basketball all season long. They are now without Chet Holmgren, and they have a center problem, guys. They do. Kendrick Williams is hurt. Isaiah Hartenstein's out. Chet Holmgren's out. The other Jalen Williams is out. Ousmane Deng is the only big on this Thunder team tonight. That's a problem. Former first-round pick a couple seasons ago, but he's really not a center. He's 6'9". He plays more of a center role than Jalen Williams does. But Jalen Williams, again, plays the 4 for this team, and he's 6'5". They're kind of screwed. Now, I think they'll be fine against the Clippers because I don't think Zubac is able to dominate. I don't think he is. Like, yeah, he'll control the glass, but at least scoring-wise, I don't think Zubac is going to have a crazy night. He's just, it's not what Zubac does. Yeah, he averages 13 rebounds a game. That's great. Averages 16 points. Again, I don't think he's going to excel that by that much. I think he'll have a bigger night than normal, but I don't think it's going to be the point where, Zubac is completely taking over this game and the, Los Angeles Clippers are going to win this one because of Zubac. I don't think that's going to be the case. And again, yes, the injury to Chet sucks, and the injuries to, again, Hartenstein's still out, and Kendrick Williams is unfortunate as well. I think Kendrick Williams is going to be out today. I think. If he plays, that'll help them out a lot. But even Kendrick Williams, he's 6'6". He can just play the 5 for them. Like, it's just, they don't have bigs on this team other than Chet, which again, yeah, the Thunder just play small ball. That's how they beat teams. I completely understand that. They play positionless basketball, at least on offense, too. I don't know. I think it's a formula, though. Like, not having a big is not going to hurt them against Los Angeles because the Clippers just shoot all night long. They don't work the post that much, obviously. It's Norman Powell and James Harden who are just going to shoot, back and forth all night. And again, Norman Powell, we've talked about it at length every time we talked about the Los Angeles Clippers. Norman Powell just had a weird, just, not up and coming, but just a weird resurgence here. He's averaging 26 points a game. It's crazy. Most nights, Norman Powell leads the Los Angeles Clippers in points. Clippers on a 4-game winning streak, beating the Spurs, Sixers, Kings, and Raptors. Their last loss, the OKC Thunder, in the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, or in Inglewood. I think the Thunder do get him again. The Clippers had a big lead in that game. The Thunder just came storming back and eventually won that game. Storm, get it? Thunder? No. Give me the Thunder to win this game against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I understand, again, he's without Chet Holmgren now. But Shai is still a premier player in the NBA. He's still one of the better players in the NBA. And I'd expect the Thunder to go out there and win this one. Again, the lack of bigs is concerning, not just with this game, but going forward, that really sucks. But I think they are able to pull out the victory here, and I do think they will be able to cover as well. I think the Clippers kind of fall apart in the road here. Give me OKC to cover and win at home. As we go on to our final game, the Sacramento Kings go on the road to San Antonio to take on the Spurs. Now, I look at this line, I'm thinking to myself, am I missing something? Is someone injured? Is a big-time player for the Sacramento Kings injured, and that's why the line's only 1.5? No, it's just Malik Monk. No, nothing against Malik Monk, and I get it. The bench unit for the Kings is abysmal. It is. The starting lineup's great. De'Aaron, Herter, DeRozan, Keegan, Domantas Sabonis. It's a great top 5. It's a top 5 that can rival any other team in the NBA. The bench unit, though, without Malik Monk is what? Jordan McLaughlin, Keon Ellis, Doug McDermott, Trey Lyles, Alex Len. That's not great. The Kings used to have great depth. Now they don't. And obviously, Malik Monk is a huge part of that, and he obviously is just not playing tonight. So maybe that's the reason why they're only getting 1.5 points on the road in San Antonio here. But I think they pretty clearly win this game. I get it. The Spurs have beat 2 really good teams this year. Well, really good. The Timberwolves are a really good team. The Rockets are right now a good team. I get that. But the Spurs are coming off a loss to the Utah Jazz by 1 point. The Jazz are abysmal. I don't care what anybody says. The Jazz suck. They just do. And the Spurs just lost them. It's weird because the Spurs will have their nights. They will. And it feels like when Wemby has his best nights, they lose. The Clippers game, they lost. The last game against the Jazz, he had 24 and 16. Chris Paul had 9 assists, and they still lost. It's weird. You have their 20 rebound game, they lost by 5. Like, it feels like when Wembanyama has huge nights, the Spurs lose. And I get that was kind of a pattern last season as well because his teammates just kind of didn't want to see him succeed. I know that was a running joke, but still. San Antonio, again, they should be back to full health, obviously with the exception of Harrison Barnes. Jeremy Sochan, so it's Chris Paul, Vassell, Champagnie, Barnes, and Wembanyama. Malachi Branham is questionable for today's game. I don't know how much of a difference that makes. But the Kings should win this one. They really should. I feel like this is a trap. And I get it. I'm probably falling into the trap right now. We see, minus 1.5 Kings. The line's not that big. It's minus 115. We're going to hammer Sacramento, which we are going to do. Again, that's probably the trap they want us to fall in, but on paper, how do the Sacramento Kings not be the San Antonio Spurs? I understand the bench unit is not great for Sacramento, but they should still be able to win this one with their starting lineup alone. They should dominate the starting minutes in this game, and they should be able to, again, make up for their lack of bench unit with the starting lineup and with these guys, again, with DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox having to play with the second unit tonight. I think the Kings down a man and Malik Monk does hurt them, obviously, but I think, again, they will be more than fine, more than capable of winning this game on the road against the San Antonio Spurs. So give me the Sacramento Kings in the nightcap. We like the Kings to get the job done and, of course, to cover the 1.5 points on the road as well. So, folks, that'll do it for our NBA predictions here on November 11th. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more college basketball predictions here on the channel. Folks, thank you all for watching, and Mamba forever.